In the middle of a vast empty desert far from any city, there was a secret place where humans kept something very unusual. It was a large building surrounded by tall fences and many cameras. Inside this building was a strange visitor from another world, an alien woman named Vylara. She was not like any human. Her skin shimmered softly like silver, and her eyes glowed like stars. She came from far away in space, but she was now trapped on Earth. Vylara had arrived in a small spaceship that crashed in the desert. The crash made a big noise, and soon the human military found her. They were scared, but also curious because she was the first living alien they had ever caught. They took her to the secret facility and locked her in a special cell made with strong metal and strange technology that could stop her from using her powers. The soldiers believed she was dangerous, so they kept her under very strict watch. The people working at the facility called her the prisoner. They treated her like a test subject. Scientists wore white coats and looked at her through glass walls. They asked questions, gave her tests, and watched her every move. But Vylara did not cooperate. She refused to talk or eat the food they gave her. Sometimes she just stared at the walls silently, and other times she would glare angrily at the people around her. Among the scientists was a man named Adam Pierce. Adam was different from the others. He was a young scientist who loved studying stars and space. When he saw Vylara, he felt something strange, not fear but curiosity. He wanted to understand where she came from and why she was here. Unlike the other scientists who treated Vylara as a problem to solve, Adam tried to speak with her kindly. At first, Vylara ignored him. She looked at him with eyes full of distrust. But Adam did not give up. Every day he would bring a notebook and try to communicate with her by drawing pictures of stars and planets. Slowly, Vylara began to respond. She would touch the pictures with her glowing fingers, and sometimes she drew symbols back on the glass. It was her way of speaking, not with words, but with signs. One night, when the facility was quiet and most people were asleep, Adam stayed late in the lab next to her cell. He noticed something amazing. Vylara was not sleeping. She was awake and moving her fingers gently across the wall. The wall suddenly lit up with strange glowing lines. It was like she was drawing a map of the stars. Adam watched in silence, amazed by the beautiful patterns that spread like a web of light. Adam realized Vylara was not just a prisoner waiting for release. She was trying to tell him something. Maybe she was showing the way back to her home or warning about something coming from space. But before he could understand more, the security alarm suddenly rang. A guard rushed in and told Adam to stop the experiment and leave. The military did not want anyone to get too close to Vylara or learn too much. The next day, the soldiers made the rules even stricter. They put more cameras and guards around her cell. They said Vylara could not be trusted. The other scientists said she was dangerous because she had powers no human had. They believed if she escaped, she could cause great harm. But Adam believed differently. He thought Vylara was scared and lonely. She was far from home and trapped by strangers. Adam tried again to talk with her, but Vylara's eyes were hard and cold. She said nothing. Sometimes she would whisper a few words in her alien language, but Adam could not understand them yet. She looked at him as if she was saying, "You don't know what you're dealing with." One day, while Adam was watching her, Vylara suddenly stopped moving. Her body glowed faintly, and the air in the room felt electric. The machines in her cell started to flicker and beep strangely. It was as if Vylara was trying to send a message or use her power without leaving her prison. Adam felt both scared and fascinated. This was not just a normal being. She was powerful and mysterious. The soldiers heard the noise and came running, but Vylara did not scream or fight. Instead, she stood quietly, her eyes shining brightly. Then, just as suddenly, everything went back to normal. The lights stopped flickering, and Vylara returned to her usual calm. The guards checked the machines carefully, but could not find any damage. That night, Adam thought a lot about Vylara. She was unlike anything he had seen before. She was not a prisoner who gave up. She was a fighter. She did not want to be controlled. Instead, she wanted to be understood. Adam wondered if he could help her find a way home, or at least talk with her more deeply. Adam began to learn more about Vylara's world by studying the star maps she drew. He tried to find connections between the stars on Earth and those in her drawings. Sometimes he felt like he was getting closer to understanding her language and her story, but the military was watching closely. They did not like Adam spending so much time with Vylara. They said he was too soft and might let her escape. Adam knew the risk, but he could not stop himself. He wanted to see Vylara not as a prisoner, but as a living being with hopes, fears, and dreams. One afternoon, when Adam brought fresh water to Vylara's cell, she looked at him with a small, almost invisible smile. It was the first time he saw her express something gentle. She touched his hand lightly through the glass and whispered in her soft, alien voice, "You think you can control me, but you cannot." Adam smiled back, knowing that control was not the answer. The answer was trust, and maybe one day, Vylara would trust him enough to tell her true story. For now, she remained a prisoner in a strange place, but inside her the fire of rebellion was quietly growing. After the strange, glowing night in the lab, Adam felt more determined to understand Vylara. He knew she was smart and strong, but also lonely. He spent hours watching the star maps she drew on the walls, trying to find meaning in the strange symbols. Sometimes he brought books about astronomy and languages, hoping to find clues to her story. Vylara did not speak much, but slowly she started to answer Adam's quiet questions with gestures and signs. She showed him pictures of her home planet, a beautiful world with 2 suns and tall blue trees. She drew images of her family and people, who looked different but had the same glowing eyes. Adam realized Vylara was not only a prisoner, but someone far away from everything she loved. The other scientists did not like this. They thought Adam was wasting time. They said Vylara was dangerous and that no one should trust her. Sometimes they argued with Adam, warning him not to get too close. But Adam ignored them. He believed that to learn the truth, he had to listen to Vylara's story and understand her feelings. One day, Adam brought a small device to Vylara's cell. It was a simple translator that could help him learn her language. He switched it on and tried to talk. Vylara looked at the machine carefully, then spoke softly in her alien language. The device began to translate some words into English. The words were strange but powerful: freedom, trust, danger, and home. Adam's heart beat faster. He realized Vylara was trying to tell him more than just her past. She was warning about something important. She wanted him to know that she was not here to harm anyone but to survive and return to her world. However, the military leaders were growing impatient. They wanted answers quickly and feared Vylara's powers. They ordered stronger security measures. More guards were placed outside her cell, and the scientists were told not to waste time on friendly talks. They wanted Vylara to cooperate or be silenced. Adam was worried. He knew forcing Vylara would only make her angry and scared. She was already resisting control. He remembered her words. "You think you can control me, but you cannot." They were true. Vylara's spirit was strong, and she would never be a prisoner in her heart. One evening, the power in the facility suddenly went out for a few minutes. During this time, strange things happened in Vylara's cell. The machines that kept her locked stopped working. The lights flickered and the metal bars felt warm, as if something unseen was moving. Adam rushed to the control room and saw the cameras went dark. When the power returned, Vylara was standing calm, but her eyes were brighter than before. She did not say anything but looked at Adam with a knowing smile. It was clear she had done something with her abilities. Maybe she was testing her limits or sending a secret message. After this event, Adam spent more time observing Vylara. He noticed that she often looked at the stars through the small window in her cell. Sometimes, she hummed a soft melody in her language, a song from her home. Adam felt sadness in her voice, a deep longing for freedom. One night, Adam stayed late, again hoping to talk with her. Vylara surprised him by whispering a few words clearly in English. "Help me." It was the first time she asked for something directly. Adam's heart swelled with hope. He wanted to help her, but he also knew it would not be easy. The military was watching closely. They noticed Adam's kindness toward Vylara and warned him to stay professional. They believed emotions were a weakness, but Adam believed empathy was the key to solving the mystery. Adam asked Vylara about the strange symbols she drew on the walls. She explained in her broken English that the symbols were star maps, paths to navigate through space to her home planet. She said her people were far away but might come to help her if they received her signal. This worried the military. They did not want other aliens to know Earth's location. They feared an invasion or worse. They demanded Adam to stop his experiments and keep Vylara silent. Adam faced a difficult choice. Should he obey the orders and abandon Vylara? Or should he risk everything to trust her and learn her story? Adam chose to believe in her. One day, Vylara's cell was suddenly surrounded by more guards. The military decided to move her to a new, more secure facility deep underground. They said it was for everyone's safety. Adam was not told the details, but feared this would end all hope of communication. When the transfer began, Vylara's eyes burned with anger. She did not resist physically, but made a loud, strange sound that shook the convoy. The soldiers were startled, but they did not expect what happened next. Suddenly, the vehicles carrying Vylara and the soldiers were hit by a strange pulse. Electronics failed, engines stopped, and the convoy came to a halt in the desert. Guards looked around in confusion. Vylara was gone. Adam was shocked when he heard the news. He feared for Vylara's safety, but also felt a strange relief. He believed she did not want to escape to harm anyone, but to be free. Shortly after, the facility's communication systems were hacked. A message appeared on every screen. To the one who spoke with respect, you will live. The rest, you have been warned. The message was from Vylara. It was clear she was not defeated. She was fighting back. The military called it a rebellion, but Adam saw it as a cry for freedom. He wanted to find Vylara, not to capture her again, but to help her. He followed clues from the star maps she left behind. The desert held secrets, and Adam believed Vylara was still near, waiting for someone who would understand her. Though danger was near and the future uncertain, Adam felt a new hope rising. Maybe, through trust and respect, humans and aliens could find a way to live together. After Vylara disappeared during the convoy's strange power failure, the whole secret base was thrown into chaos. Soldiers ran everywhere, shouting orders and searching the desert for any sign of her. The military leaders were furious and afraid. How could someone so powerful escape their control? Was she hiding nearby? Could she strike again? Adam felt a mix of emotions. He was worried about Vylara's safety, but also relieved that she was no longer locked inside a cage. He had seen her strength and intelligence. He believed she wanted to survive, not to hurt anyone. Deep down, he hoped she could find a way back home. Despite the alarm, Adam stayed calm. He knew the desert well and remembered the star maps Vylara had drawn. They showed paths and symbols that looked like clues. If Vylara was nearby, She might be following those paths to avoid capture. While the military sent teams with dogs and helicopters to search the area, Adam quietly searched for signs himself. Late at night, under the bright stars, he noticed strange lights flickering far away. Could that be Vylara? Could she be trying to communicate with him? The next morning, the base received a shocking message. It was a broadcast sent by Vylara through the base's own communication system. On every screen, her glowing face appeared, calm but firm. She spoke in her alien language at first, but then switched to English. To the one who showed me kindness, I am safe. To the others, this is your warning, she said. I will not be controlled. I will not be your prisoner. Her voice was strong and clear. The military leaders were shocked and angry. They ordered everyone to increase security and find her as soon as possible. Adam watched the broadcast carefully. He saw something new in Vylara's eyes, a fire of rebellion, a will to fight for freedom. He knew she was sending a message, not only to the humans but also to herself. She was not defeated. She was beginning her own fight. Despite the danger, Adam felt he had to help her. He began looking through the star maps for a hidden location, something that only Vylara would know. After days of studying, he found a place deep in the desert, far from the base and hidden by sand dunes. He decided to go there secretly. He took only a few supplies and left under the cover of night. The desert was quiet, except for the wind moving the sand. Adam felt a strange excitement and fear at the same time. He hoped to find Vylara, but he also feared what he might discover. When Adam reached the hidden place, he saw an old structure covered in sand and dust. It looked ancient, like no human had been there for a long time. This was no ordinary building. It was a beacon, a device that could send signals into space. Vylara had drawn it in her maps, and now it stood before him. Adam walked inside carefully. The beacon was covered with strange symbols and glowing crystals. It looked powerful and alive. Suddenly he heard a soft voice. Adam. He turned and saw Vylara standing there. She looked tired but peaceful. Her glowing eyes softened when she saw him. I did not want to hurt anyone, she said quietly. But they do not listen. Adam approached her slowly. I believe you, he said. I want to help you. Vylara nodded and explained that the beacon could send a message to her home planet. She had turned it on to ask for help. Her people might come for her, but they could also bring trouble if the humans misunderstood. Adam understood the risk, but also the hope. If Vylara's people arrived peacefully, they could learn from each other. But if fear took control, it could lead to war. While Adam and Vylara talked, the desert sky began to glow. The beacon's light grew stronger. It sent a pulse into the stars, a signal reaching far beyond Earth. Suddenly, the sound of helicopters broke the quiet. Soldiers were closing in on the beacon. Vylara looked at Adam, her eyes wide with fear. They are coming, she said. We must leave. Adam helped her move away from the beacon as the soldiers arrived. The base commander shouted orders to capture them both. Vylara did not run blindly. She used her powers to protect Adam and herself. A bright shield surrounded them, pushing back the soldiers without harming them. The soldiers were surprised but careful. They could not fight something they did not understand. Adam realized this was only the beginning. Vylara's rebellion was not about destruction. It was about freedom and survival. She wanted to live without being controlled, and she was ready to fight for it. As the sun rose over the desert, Adam and Vylara disappeared into the vast wilderness. They were no longer prisoner and scientist, but allies in a dangerous and uncertain journey. The future was unknown, but one thing was clear. Vylara would never be controlled. She had awakened herself, and now she was free. After escaping from the soldiers, Adam and Vylara moved quietly through the desert. The sun was hot during the day and cold at night, but they stayed close to the rocky hills where they could hide. Vailara's glowing eyes helped them see even in the darkest places, and Adam felt grateful for her presence. He knew that without her powers, they would not survive long in such a harsh place. Vailara was still weak from her escape. The energy she used to protect them had drained her. Adam noticed that she often paused and held her side, showing pain. He wanted to help, but he was only a scientist, not a healer. Still, he gathered what he could from the desert plants and made simple medicine for her wounds. One night, under the starry sky, Vailara told Adam more about her world. She described a beautiful planet filled with blue forests and tall mountains. She spoke about her people who lived in harmony with nature and had technology far beyond Earth's. They had spaceships that could travel quickly between stars. But she had been captured during a mission to explore new worlds. Vailara said her home was very far away, and she did not know if her people would answer her call for help. The signal she sent from the ancient beacon might take many days or even weeks to reach them. She hoped they would come before the military found her again. Adam listened carefully. He wanted to believe that help was on the way, but he also knew the soldiers would not stop looking. They had more technology and weapons, and they were determined to bring Vailara back no matter what. Adam decided they needed a safer place. He remembered an old cave he had visited once during a desert hike. It was hidden behind a rocky hill and had a small stream nearby. It could protect them from the sun and from prying eyes. Together, they walked for hours until they found the cave. Inside, it was cool and quiet. Vailara lay down, resting her glowing head on a pile of soft cloth Adam had made. Adam sat beside her, watching the stars through the cave's small opening. Suddenly, Vailara looked at him with clear eyes. "Adam," she said softly, "you risk much to help me." Adam smiled. "You are not just a prisoner. You are a person. You deserve kindness." Vailara nodded, but then her face changed. She looked troubled. "There is something else. I am not the only one." Adam's heart beat faster. "What do you mean?" Vailara explained that during her mission she had discovered other alien beings on Earth. Some were hiding, others were captured like her. They had been here longer than humans realized. Some wanted peace, but others were dangerous. Adam realized the problem was bigger than he thought. Vailara's rebellion was not just for herself. It was for many others like her. They spent the next days planning how to send another signal, stronger and clearer, to call for help. Vailara used the small crystals she carried from her ship to build a device. Adam helped by connecting wires and powering the machine with batteries he had taken from the base. As they worked, Adam grew closer to Vailara. He learned her language, and she learned more English. They shared stories of Earth and the stars. The loneliness they both felt started to ease. One evening, as they tested the new device, a bright light flashed in the sky. Both looked up and saw a large ship far above them. It was too distant to be human. The ship moved slowly, sending a soft glow over the desert. Vailara's eyes filled with hope. "They came," she whispered, but the moment was short. Suddenly, the sound of helicopters returned, louder than before. The soldiers had tracked them. Down again. They surrounded the cave, their voices booming through loudspeakers. Vailara stood slowly, her body glowing brighter. She looked at Adam and said, "This time, we fight." Adam's heart raced. He knew Vailara's powers could protect them, but the soldiers had weapons. He hoped for a peaceful solution, but prepared for a battle. Vailara raised her hands, and a shield of light surrounded them. The soldiers fired their guns, but the bullets stopped before reaching them. The shield held strong. The soldiers retreated, but kept their distance. They called for backup, warning that the alien prisoner was powerful and dangerous. Adam stepped forward. "Stop!" he shouted. "She does not want to fight. She wants peace. The commander on the loudspeaker replied, "You are helping an enemy of Earth. Surrender now." Vaylara's eyes burned with determination. "I am not your enemy. I am a prisoner who wants to be free." The tension was thick, but no one moved to attack. Adam used the moment to speak to the soldiers. He told them about Vaylara's story, her home, and her peaceful intentions. Slowly, some soldiers lowered their weapons. Others watched nervously. The situation was uncertain. Suddenly, a voice came from the sky. The large ship above sent a message. "We come in peace." The soldiers stopped completely. The ship slowly landed nearby, and tall beings stepped out. They were Vaylara's people, calm, wise, and gentle. Valylara smiled, tears shining in her glowing eyes. She stepped forward to greet them. Adam watched with hope and relief. The long journey of fear and rebellion was ending. Maybe now, humans and aliens could start to understand each other. The future was still unknown, but for the first time, it seemed full of promise. After Vaylara's people landed near the desert cave, everything changed. The tall aliens moved slowly and carefully. They did not carry weapons or look angry. Instead, they spoke softly and showed respect to everyone around. The soldiers lowered their guns completely and watched quietly. Even the commander seemed surprised by their calmness. Valylara walked toward her people with tears in her glowing eyes. She was happy and relieved to see them after so long. Her family and friends had finally come to help. Adam stood beside her, feeling amazed and hopeful. He had never thought this moment would come. The leader of the aliens, a tall figure with silver skin like Vaylara's, spoke to the humans. "We come in peace," he said, with a gentle voice. "Our mission is to learn and to share knowledge. We do not wish to harm your world." The soldiers listened carefully. The leader explained that Valylara was an explorer who came to Earth to find new friends and learn about life here. But she was captured and held without understanding. Now, they wanted to fix the mistakes and build a better future together. Adam stepped forward and said, "I helped Valylara because I believe that understanding is stronger than fear. We can learn from each other and live in peace." The leader smiled kindly. "Your kindness saved Valylara. We thank you." The military commander hesitated but then nodded. He said, "We want to work together too, but we need time to understand." Vaylara's people agreed. They promised to teach humans about their technology and culture, and they asked for the same in return. They knew that trust would take time, but believed it was possible. For days, the desert base became a place of learning and cooperation. Scientists and alien visitors shared ideas. Valylara helped translate and explain her people's language and stories. Adam was happy to see peace growing where once there was fear. But Valylara knew she could not stay on Earth forever. Her people had waited a long time, and the journey back home was calling her. She told Adam, "I must return to my world, but I will never forget the kindness you showed me." Adam felt sadness, but understood. "Will you come back someday?" Valylara smiled softly. "Maybe, but for now, I must go." The day of her departure was quiet but full of emotion. Valylara hugged Adam, and her eyes shone with gratitude and hope. She stepped onto the ship with her people, and the craft lifted slowly into the sky, disappearing among the stars. After the ship left, Adam stood in the desert, looking up. He felt a new connection to the universe and a new hope for Earth's future. The message Valylara left behind was clear. Kindness and respect could bring peace between different worlds. In the days that followed, the secret base changed. It became a center for peaceful contact and learning about life beyond Earth. People remembered Valylara not as a prisoner or enemy, but as a brave explorer who taught humanity to look up with hope, not fear. Adam continued his work, always watching the stars. Sometimes he thought he saw a faint glow far away, like a friendly signal from Vailara's world. He smiled, knowing that even across the vastness of space, friendship was possible. The story of Vailara's rebellion was not one of violence, but of courage, trust, and the power of understanding. It showed that even when worlds are very different, respect can bring them together. And so, the stars above Earth shone a little brighter, reminding everyone that the universe is full of stories waiting to be told. Stories of hope, freedom, and the endless journey to find where we truly belong.